Hello there, Sim0nTrains here, or some people like call me Sim0nTrains, and you join me at I think it's Northern's most northernest staff station, Alma for Alwick. Now it's definitely not Northern's most northernest station because that is Chat Hill, which is about 10 minutes further north, which I did a blog from Sandbash to Chat Hill on that, which is one of the videos that's probably on YouTube now. But we're not going towards Chat Hill because today we're actually going further south from Almouth. We are visiting two East Coast Main Line stations. So I'm going to tease them up now on the video. Hopefully you had a guess at which stations they are, but the one thing I do know is that I'm catching the 1300 London North Eastern Railway service to my first location. And I'm actually on the wrong platform for that, so I'm going to have to go over to platform 1 to catch that train now to head to my first location. So after we have zoomed down the East Coast Main Line from Almouth, we've made it to Durham Railway Station. Durham is London North Eastern Railway operated, but if you look at the station colours, it still has the colours of the old East Coast franchise when I started blogging in like 2012. But I'll tell you what it does have two platforms. Now also that calls here are Trainspotter Express, cross-country trains, and there's a few northern train services that call here at 6 o'clock in the morning, like very early in the morning, very late at evening. We're now going to move on to the station history of Durham Station. Durham Station was opened on the 1st of April 1857 by the North Eastern Railway, which was the third station to be built in Durham. The station was redeveloped in 1871 and the three-letter station code for Durham is DHM. Now before we carry on the day of filming this on the 17th of September 2021, there was a fire broke out at the Milburn construction site. So this is why around Durham and the station there was a lot of smoke. Jesus Christ, what the hell has happened there? There's a fire somewhere in that area. Hope it doesn't really affect the trains though. But that doesn't look good, to be honest. Just as a precaution, I've just put my snood on because the smoke from that fire is actually coming through Durham Station, so it's just a precaution. But we'll be leaving shortly on the 1440 to Northallerton, but it looks like we'll be leaving on the train, so it should be no problems at all. But I'll tell you what though, I don't know what's happening with this fire, I don't know how it started or whatever, but if I turn around here, look at Durham Viaduct with that smoke. Going to make some interesting shots, but I don't really think it's an advantage that I like the interesting shots, but hopefully you can leave Durham to get to Northallerton. Usually when I get asked a simple question, it is absolutely complicated. And this simple question is, what is your favourite railway station? But it's so difficult to answer because I have a load of favourite railway stations, but I always give one answer, and this answer is right here. This is Northallerton Railway Station. Trans-Pennine Express operated, and yes, it does have two platforms, but the two platforms are staggered. And I always give this answer because it's just a lovely part of the East Coast Main Line. You also get tones here as well sometimes, but not all the time, but sometimes. Also, London North Eastern Railway stop here, which as we just got off the London North Eastern Railway service at Northallerton. And also Grand Central call at this station as well with their services to Sunderland. And Trans-Pennine Express call here with their services to Redcar Central or Newcastle Central. But yeah, it is a lovely station on the East Coast Main Line. Looking behind me here towards Darlington, and looking where I'm pointing at now is to York. So we're now going to move on to the station history of Northallerton Station. Northallerton Station was opened by the Great North of England Railway on the 30th of March 1841. 11 years later, the Leeds Northern Railway built their own station at Northallerton Town on their Leeds to Stockton route, which bypassed Northallerton Station. This station only lasted 4 years and closed to passengers in 1856. The Wensleydale branch line to Garsdale opened its stages between 1848 and 1878, but passengers were withdrawn on the 26th of April 1954. Services were withdrawn on the former Leeds Northern line by Ripon on the 6th of March 1967. And the through-letter station code for Northallerton is NTR. So you come to the southern end of platform 1 at Northallerton Station. You can see some tracks over here. Now you can't see one track because there's a fence in the way, but that's the southbound freight only line. that comes onto the East Coast Main Line, and the line behind it takes you onto Yarm to Thornaby. But they're used for mainly freight trains, and I think there's the odd Trans-Pennine service that might use it. But from the 13th of December 2021, London North Eastern Railway will also be using that line, because there is a Middlesbrough to London King's Cross service that's going to happen. And they are boys in Northampton Station, according to real-time Trainspotter. We don't know how true that is or not. I've been looking online to find out what happened at Durham, because all I saw was a fire. Apparently it was a gas explosion in property developments, and they've basically been telling everyone to stay away from the city now. Well, luckily I got out of there, because they are still running the trains at Durham, so I got out of there to Northampton. But we hope that nobody is seriously injured from that blast, if it's an explosion. We don't know, it's only what people are saying, but we'll find out eventually what's happened. But it's terrible that it's happened, to be honest with you. We've got about 20 minutes to kill before we leave Northampton Station. Now, I'm actually having about an hour and 20 minutes here at Northampton, roughly, because I came off the London North Eastern Railway service, but I'm leaving on the 1628 Trans-Pennine Express service to Manchester Victoria, and I arrive in Manchester Victoria at 1808, because we are starting to head back to Rugeley now. And this is the part of the journey to see if it actually goes successful or something happened along the way. So when we get to Manchester Victoria, I'm going to walk into Manchester Piccadilly, get the 1901 off Manchester Piccadilly to Crewe, and then Crewe to Rugeley Trent Valley that way. So hopefully that all goes successful to plan, but we'll see how it goes along the way. But we've still got a few trains to film first before we board my train to Manchester Victoria. So while I've got some time before the 2038 to Northampton, which stops at Rugeley Trent Valley, I'm going to get something to eat. So what's in the Mackies? This idiot about to get his tea. Okay, so we're now going to talk about today's journey from Almouth to Rugeley Town, even though we're not been to Rugeley Town yet because we're still at Rugeley Trent Valley. But we started at Almouth, got the 1300 London North Eastern Railway service to Durham. Filming the trains at Durham was alright, there was no problems at all, apart from that a fire did break out in Durham itself. Now hopefully no one got injured or nobody died from the incident, but smoke was everywhere around Durham. Durham Viaduct was covered in smoke, the station was covered in smoke at one point. They ended up having to wear a snood just so we couldn't breathe it in. But other than the fire broke out in Durham, the trains were alright in Durham, but if it got worse I would have to stop filming until I got to like an area where I could start filming again. But after that we went over to Northampton, one of my favourite stations on the East Coast Main Line. Northampton's a brilliant location. If you haven't been to Northampton, go to Northampton. It's 125 on that stretch as well, so you do get the fast trains that are zooming along. After Northampton, we went over to Manchester Victoria, walked into Manchester Piccadilly, went over the Crewe, Rugeley Trent Valley, and that's it basically. So it really has been a successful trip. I think we're a few minutes late getting to Manchester Victoria because we were held outside Huddersfield, but other than that, it's all been good. Can't argue, can't grumble. So, just about to, well, we're leaving at 21:25 to Rugeley Town. So I'm going to end this now before we get interrupted by the announcement, you know, welcome aboard and all that. So feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, you've been awesome. And our next journey is actually going to be to the Severn Valley Railway for the Autumn Steam Garner. So please do come on board for that. We're looking forward to seeing you on that blog. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to close the shot with this unit 35108 departing Rugeley Town Station.